Flosstube. My name's Emer, I'm the Irish Stitcher, and you're welcome back for another episode about cross stitch. I have a couple of things to talk about today. I had hoped to get this video filmed in April, first of all, so that it would be, like technically, officially an April upload, and I would keep up with my once a month schedule. But it didn't happen. Oh well. I'm not going to stress about that. Today I have one FFO to show you, and I will start with that. I have one piece of haul. It is a pattern, and I have a couple of whips. I put off, one of the reasons, it's been busy, but one of the reasons why I put off filming this, aside from said busyness, was that I thought I didn't have a lot of whips to talk about. You'll see in a bit that I did have a focus piece for a lot of the month. But then once I gathered them all, I was like, okay, I actually have done a decent amount of stitching. So in hindsight, I'm pretty pleased with what I've done. Really exciting. I have an FFO to show you. Ta-da! It is the Peppermint Purple Blackwork Stitch Along. I got it framed. The frame is from an Irish store, VGA.ie. It's either VGA or BGA. I can't remember which. Apologies. But yeah, it's really nice. It's just a simple like pine frame. I think it was 25 by 35 centimeters. I framed it myself. It's pinned. Quite happy with it. Sorry, there's a window opposite me, so you are getting a bit of reflection on the glass. But I'm really happy. It sits up on our wall, and it makes me happy. When we're watching TV, it's like beside the TV, and I'm like, oh yeah, there's that blackwork piece. Like I spent so much work on. Look at that lovely square. Isn't it lovely? And my poor boyfriend is like, yep, it looks great, Emer. You can stop saying that now. But no, he knows I've been wanting to get it framed, and it makes me happy to have it framed. So, on to haul, my very tiny haul section. This is the Kiss by Mirabilia, and if you're familiar with newer corporate patterns, she doesn't really chart men. I think there is a Santa Claus design, and I am drawing a blank on any other men in her designs. And I think this kind of looks like a vampire. Like he's kissing her neck, but I'm like, oh no, he's totally like a vampire. And I was chatting to a friend of mine, and they were like, oh, I picked up the Kiss. I'm going to rechart like the heads to make it look like he's a vampire. And I'm like, I'm not the only one who reads too much supernatural and horror fiction. So that was validating, and I have asked them if they wouldn't mind, whenever they do the rechart, sharing it with me, so that I might steal their hard work. And they have said yes. I'm in no rush to start it, however. I'm sorry, this bit of hair, like, what's it doing? What's it doing out there on its own? Stop that. It's not going to stop that. Anyway, like I was saying, I'm in no rush to start this. Like, I'll get to it when I get to it. I'm not on any sort of like start ban at the moment. Oh, I am on a buying ban at the moment. I purchased this, and then I am in a cross stitch Discord server. It is for the cross stitching subreddit. It is the associated Discord server, and on it we have a voluntary group role thing called Ban Island, where if you want to stop buying things, you commit yourself to Ban Island. And Ban Island is a lovely place, in our minds, in our hearts. It is a sunny island with beaches and cocktails, and we all stitch together while not buying anything. But I basically just decided, like, look, I don't want to buy anything for a while. I don't want to start anything for a while. And there's no point in buying something and just having it sit. With some exceptions. For example, I got the Kiss for a really good price. The lady who was selling it did just want it to go to a good home. So if it's something like that, if it's something limited time, or if it's out of print, I will give myself permission. But for the most part, I'm just trying to be mindful. Right. Next up, and these whips, by the way, are just ordered in order of size when I was gathering them all, so there's no real reason to why I've decided to show them this way. But first up is Mill Hill Cat in the Box from their winter holiday collection. It is mega cute, and I didn't realize until I was preparing to show you all this that it's pretty well done. I think I have to finish off the ribboning on the top of the box, and then after that I'm on to the beading. So that's a lot closer to a finish than I thought. I picked this up at the October not only but also Mirabilia retreat. I hadn't been in the mood really to stitch Christmas ornaments because it's nowhere near Christmas, but I took a notion one day and decided I wanted to work on it. So knowing that it's really close to a finish, you might see this finished in the next video. Who knows? Next up I have a start. I mentioned Ban Island. This wasn't a purchase. I had this, I was feeling a little burnt out from big projects and I was like, I want something small and simple and brainless. And this is 60 by 60 stitches. It's a little Polaroid Desk. I'll put in a picture, but it's a little Polaroid of a night sky, clouds. I'm working on some more clouds, and then there will be some ocean waves. That'll be it. Nice, simple, straightforward stitch with nice, pretty colours. I'm using the call for DMC where possible. If I don't have it, I'm going with a close substitution. The fabric is like a slate, a really pale grey, not a slate grey, like a powdery grey blue colour. It's just 18 count Ada. I actually had a mostly rectangular piece with this little bit sticking off the side, so I just went snip, and I'm using it for this. The pattern is by Cross Stitch KSU. They were on Etsy. Their shop is currently inactive at the moment. I have heard someone say that they are selling on Instagram, although I haven't confirmed that myself. I picked up a couple of the little Polaroid series from them, and yeah, they're just nice to have. They're the kind of little patterns I don't mind having in my stash, because if I end up never stitching them, oh well, I spent like €1 and something on each pattern. And if I do decide to stitch them, they're just really, they're nice to stitch. I can unwind while stitching them. I can like watch something easily and stitch this. Like what I've done here is I've stitched out the outline for the bottom of the blue, and I'm just going to fill it in. It's a pretty pleasant experience. Next up is Bayonne Cat. Not much progress has been made in this. I really just took it out over lunchtime one day. I started working on this piece here, but because some progress was made, I'm showing it to you. I'm counting it as progress. Who could blame me? I love this little guy. This little G wink. He's cute. But yeah, small amount of progress. He's a really nice whip to have. I like pulling him out, and I like the little motifs because I can decide, right, well, I'm going to work on one, and it's almost like a miniature finish, which finishes are good. Finishes give us that dopamine hit that we crave. Next up is Andromeda. Sorry, I'm just trying to fold her up a little bit. Andromeda, I have made some progress on her rock since I last filmed. I'm not sure how much progress since I last filmed, because she was kind of, I worked in her for a while, and I haven't touched her since. So it's all blurring together a little bit, but like, that is her rock. I will talk about my Mania plans in a little bit, but she will probably come out for the month of May. Come out to play in May. Next up, it's a start. It's another new start, actually, now that I think of it. Excuse me. This is Maidens of the Seasons. I feel like I have to shout behind the fabric. It is massive. The panel that's stitched over here, that will be where spring goes. And I've got the width of 4 other panels marked out. I was working away on this and enjoying it, but then I realised that I was getting kind of burnt out just in stitching giant lines. It felt like I wasn't making any progress. I was getting kind of fed up on it, and I realized after about a week of not stitching that it was like, oh, I've stopped stitching. Yeah. So that was why I started the little Polaroid by Cross Stitch KSU, because it's a large project. And I think it wasn't that it was a big project, it was that it was just lines, just straight lines of brown. I even did switch to the gold metallics in the corner. Didn't matter. I needed a break. But that's fine. It's a hobby. It's supposed to be fun. And if it's not, change it up. The next whip I have to show you isn't mine, but I'm going to show it to you anyway because it'll not be shown otherwise. I mentioned before that I got the collectors from my boyfriend at the Essex Needles Retreat, and he has started it. This is on 18 count. It's not. This might be Sunlit Forest Ada. I don't honestly remember because I'm not working on it. So, but it is by Sparkly's Fabric. He's loving it. Look at all that progress he's made. Look at all that 310 he's stitched. And little. I also got that needle minder before, the Homer Simpson disappearing into the hedge. Yeah, he's doing great. Little comparison of where he is. It's a big enough piece, and looking at it going, I think I commented at the time that I didn't see how it would take 5 skeins of 310. I can totally say how it will take 5 skeins of 310 now. It is a monster of a pattern, but apparently quite easy to work with and quite nice to stitch on. He's been enjoying it. It's been really nice. We're on the last season of Breaking Bad. I haven't watched it before. He has. So he's been kind of stitching, watching Breaking Bad, and watching my reactions to the roller coaster. And I've been stitching or trying to stitch. Sometimes it's pretty intense in the show, and I'm like, oh, must pay attention. But yeah, no, it's been really cozy to just like stitch together and be beside each other stitching, and it's lovely, really, really nice. Okay, that is all I have to show you for stitching. I want to talk a little bit about Stitch Mania. So last year I did more of a Sania rather than a Mania. I think I allowed myself a couple of starts. Working entirely from memory, my plan might have been to work on a whip during the week, and then at the weekend treat myself to a new start. I'm not going to do that this year. I am just going to do a different whip each week throughout May. That's enough for me at the moment. Even one different whip a week still feels like a whoa. Slow down. And at the moment, my rough plan is to. I'm having fun with the Polaroid, so that's going to be week 1 of stitching. And if I'm lucky, I'm going to get it finished in that week, but I'm not committing to anything. I'm not 100% certain that I'll get it finished. I want to stitch on Andromeda for a week. Whatever little bit you can see over there. That still leaves 2 and a bit more weeks after that. Part of me thinks I should work on Maidens of the Seasons. I'm a little wary of that. I'm not super stoked to go back to more of the panel. My plan for this originally had been to do the outlines and then start on each lady. I'm now questioning if that's a good idea. I might burn out before I ever get to the ladies, so it might be an idea to maybe start on spring and kind of take breaks. Like if I work on this project for a week, one day of that week could be the border, and the other rest of the day, the other 6 days, could be on the women in the picture, which I think would be much better for my like stitching sanity. Another option is the Dark Queen's Sea Cell. I don't have her down with me because I don't have any progress to show you, but I've really just got the 2 and a bit fish done at the moment. I could stitch it for another week. I might get the 3rd fish finished, which would be part 1 of the cell done. Having said that aloud, that sounds like a great idea. I might do that. I might pull out Bay and Cat for a week. I'm aware now that I'm making more plans than there are weeks in May. I might do a week of Mill Hill because that little cat in the box was really fun, and I have a couple of other Mill Hill kits. I definitely could get the cat finished, and that would be quite nice to get a finish, even if it is a Mill Hill ornament. And they're quite small, but it would be a finish. It would still count. So those are my rough plans. What do I have? Polaroid, Lion Cat, Maidens, Andromeda, Dark Queen, Mill Hill. That's 6 weeks. I could go 30 days of September, 31 days in May. I could go, like 5 days on each plus a wildcard day. I don't know. It's Mania. Gotta shake it up. Gotta go wild. I had contemplated like putting all of my whips onto a list. I'm just picking a random whip each day. I might yet do that, but it sounds a little bit chaotic for my liking at the moment. I kind of want to. Apologies for that, folks. My phone ran out of storage and I had to go delete some stuff. As I was saying, I think doing a different project every day in May might be a little bit chaotic. I want a stretch of a few days at a time at the very least to work on a project. There's no point. Not that it would stress me out. Stressing me out is a very strong way of putting it, but I want it to be chill. I want it to be nice and relaxing. I mentioned at the start of this video that I've been really busy lately. Summer exams have been coming up, so I've been taking on some extra tutoring hours. Larp is coming back. For anyone who doesn't know, LARP stands for Live Action Roleplay. It is, if you've heard of Dungeons and Dragons, where a group of people gather and kind of tell a story together while playing as characters. LARP is exactly like that, except you are physically the character instead of just voicing them. So if I run across the room, not only has Emer run across the room, but the character that I am representing has run across the room. It's like a play, but we don't plan our lines out beforehand. We just make it up as we go. There are game runners who will present conflict to the players, and the players will decide how to handle it. But LARP is coming back, so I had been working out before this, but with LARP coming back, I suddenly now have a concrete goal to work towards. For example, I'm going over to an event in early June in the UK, and I am planning on playing a scout and a battlefield runner. This event is massive. There will be thousands of people at the event, and on the Saturday and Sunday at the event, there are about 1,000 people, 500 on each side, will take to the battlefield and fight. We use latex and foam core weapons, so if you get hit really hard, it still hurts. I will come away with bruises, but it's not actually dangerous as long as nobody breaks the rules. So with such a large number of people, if you want to communicate across groups, you have to send a person. This is a fantasy setting. There is not, phones don't exist. We don't have like technology. So the idea to me of being one of those runners who has to communicate across distances seemed really fun. But in order to do that, you actually have to run. And I run occasionally, but I've gotten back into training in earnest. There'll be Irish events in August as well, and training for them, combat training, has come back. Not everybody goes to that, but I do, because it's fun, it's great exercise. I get better at fighting. I get better at fighting with my foam sword and shield. Yeah, it's great, and plus you're a little bit safer, you're a little bit more experienced if you've been doing it regularly, as opposed to not doing it regularly. Like I've heard stories, there used to be training weekly, and some people would go weekly to training, pre-COVID obviously, and then they would go to events in the UK, they would rock up and absolutely decimate in combat because they've been practicing, and they come up against a group of people who do this like 3 times a year, and it led to this mystique about like Irish LARPers, like, oh, they're amazing at combat. No, they've just been practicing. They've been doing it every week. So yeah, I don't think I'm good enough that people will go, whoa, fighter prodigy over here, but you know, it'll be fun. I feel a little silly talking about it because I'm aware, like, yes, I am an adult, I am applying for a mortgage, I have a full-time job, you know, everything is very adult and serious. And then for fun, I like to dress up and camp and hit people with swords. It's really fun. You gotta be social, you gotta run about, have exercise, and make believe. Let out your inner child. But yeah, I mentioned the Ban Island thing. So that was great. The whole thing, like, not that I was spending much money on cross stitch, with the exception of like a retreat once or twice a year. But I was like, oh, it'll be great. I'll not spend any money on cross stitch. And then with LARP coming back, I suddenly like, oh, I don't have a sleeping bag and we're going to be camping. Just stuff like that. Or realizing that I need to costume and having to buy little pieces for that. We buy like cheaply, or we buy secondhand, or where possible. But it adds up, you know. If you've got to dress a person and you need to bring, you know, whatever rains, I suddenly need like 2 pairs of trousers for the weekend. Stuff like that. It adds up, but yeah. Ban Island is a great place for saving money, provided you don't then go spend it on something else. Anyway, I am rambling. Apologies. Let me know in the comments what you've been up to, what you've been working on. Do you have any plans for Mania? What should I do for Mania? I feel like I'm all over the place at the moment with my Mania plans, and it's already the 1st of May. Yeah. Hope you've had a great April. Have a lovely May, and